common reason that I get as to why they don't purchase is because they don't know where to find down payment assistance. And sometimes it's closer than you think, but just haven't thought about where you can actually get that money. Interesting fact that is that 75% of first-time home buyers or millennials around this time say that they would purchase a house if they knew where to find the down payment. Imagine every day when you wake up and before you go to school or before you go to work, you go pick up that coffee that costs you $5 at Starbucks. Or maybe you go to Smoothie King and you spend $5 to $7 on a smoothie. Did you know that if you spend $5 every day throughout the whole year, that's about $1,800 that you could be saving? I want to talk about other ways that you could be saving money for your down payment, but I think it's important for you to understand how much money is it that you have to try to save? And a lot of that has to do with the type of house that you're going to want to get and the type of financing that you're going to be looking for. A standard percentage to use is anywhere from 3 to 5% of the purchase price of the house. So, for example, if you are purchasing a $200,000 house, that could be anywhere from $6,000 to, let's say, $8,000 to be safe. So, taking my previous example before, that's about $1,800 that you would be saving just by not stopping by Starbucks and getting that cup of coffee. All right. So you're already much a third of the way there. All right. Let's talk about some of the other ways that you can get yourself in a better position to accumulate money so that you can invest it in yourself. Paying off your credit cards. Do you know how much interest that you pay on your credit cards? You ever go into your last year's statement and just try to categorize the interest that you paid? Sometimes we don't even realize how much interest we're paying. We know it's a bad thing, but when you actually look and tally up the numbers, you say, wow, I actually spent anywhere from $500 to, let's say, $1,000 in interest, just that alone. Now we're up to about $2,800, so we're halfway there. So credit cards is one thing that that if you have credit cards and you know that interest is a bad thing, that you shouldn't be paying it on your credit cards because somehow it just affects you, that's one place that you want to go to actually, or consider to actually paying down your credit card balances so that you can be paying yourself that interest money. Okay. Number 2, did you know that there are various state housing programs, county programs that are available to you that you can actually qualify for assistance as a first-time home buyer? Okay, so as an example, there is a program out there in the state of Florida, and right now it's open to various counties such as Hillsborough, Pasco, Pinellas, and Polk County, where you can qualify for down payment assistance in the amount of $15,000. Yeah, $15,000. Every year that you live in your house, they forgive 20% of that. So there's government programs that are out there that you can actually tap into so that you can utilize this down payment assistance and get into your house. Okay? Number 3, retirement accounts. A lot of people have access through their companies. They have access to a 401ks through their companies. And a lot of people don't realize they can actually tap into their 401ks for the purpose of purchasing a house, right? So a lot of people don't know that. And in some cases, you really want to check in with your 401k department because sometimes what happens is that if you have, let's say, $15,000 or $20,000 put away, it doesn't necessarily mean you can tap into the whole $20,000, but what you've actually contributed towards the actual 401k. And in other cases, you can borrow from your 401k, meaning that you can actually withdraw from there and then you actually have to pay yourself back. But at least if you're doing it in this route, you're paying yourself back and not an actual bank. So the downside behind that is that it's an additional loan that you're paying yourself, right? But that's another avenue for you to actually tap into. So if you have a staple job and you have a 401k and you know that you're not going anywhere, it might not be a bad idea to actually consider that option as well. Number 4, gift funds. If you have family members, parents, let's say, that are well off and they want to see you proceed in life and progress, what better way to ask your parents to actually gift you the money, right? Now, what you want to do is make sure that you're paper trailing everything, because the bank's going to want to require some of this stuff, okay? It gets very detailed, as specific as asking for your parents' bank statement. Sometimes banks are going to look for that. They just want to make sure that the money is coming from somebody else's account, whoever it is that you're saying is gifting you the money. Now, remember, if you live with your parents, they might be even open to actually giving you that gift funds, because, I'm sure they love you, but they kind of rather have their privacy and their peace and quiet to themselves. And I'm pretty sure they're tired of you digging into the fridge. So it might be closer than what you think of being able to find different types of resources of where you can get this money. You know what? Why not even get a second job, right? Maybe you don't have a second job at the moment, but you need to save up some money. Get a second job. Put it away. Maybe you're getting anywhere from $400 to $800 a month. Guess what? In a matter of 4 to 8 months, you have the money that you need, right? So there's another idea that you probably haven't thought about. And not only that, if you get a second job and you have these credit card balances, you can start actually paying down some of the credit card balances as well, right? So let's get into a few more of these reasons. A lot of us have a lot of junk in our house, right? Sometimes we have old jewelry that we don't use anymore, and sometimes we just have stuff sitting around the house. So why not sell some of your jewelry and use some of that money to reinvest it into your house, right? Something that's actually going to build equity at a faster pace than jewelry can, right? And then, of course, if you have stuff sitting around the house, you have stuff in the boxes that you haven't used, most definitely, donating it is always a great idea. But how about you hold a garage sale? Sell as much as you can, gather up as much money as possible, and anything that's remaining, just donate it, okay? And the last one, which doesn't always apply to all of us, but sometimes some of us fall into inheritance. Instead of you taking that money and going out and spending it, reinvest it and put it back into yourself and invest in yourself. And that way you have something to show for it and not feel sour of spending it somewhere else and not having anything to show for it, right? So these are some of the different ways that you can actually think about saving up money for your down payment. So if you haven't thought about those things, definitely check into it. And if you have further questions, you know where to find me. Talk soon, Tampa.